Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the XRS ZTR Tuesday Night Worlds. Tonight the riders are going to be doing 18.5 to 28 miles depending on the race that they are in. It is going to be 3 laps for the A's and the B's that we will be covering tonight though. So for the season D's it will be that 18.5. It is the London Loop, so it's going to be one of the most difficult courses in Zwift actually. 44.5 kilometers, as we probably should be saying. It is the early AM edition. We used to call this the EU edition. So 45K today, 3 laps of the London Loop. These boys are going to be absolutely flying out on course. If you'd like live updates of the race, you can head on over toward zwiftpower.com. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick the website over there so you know exactly where to be going. Here is a quick little desktop capture, and you can actually see it has been updated over at zwiftpower.com right now, and we'll get right into the race in just a moment, but I want to make sure that you guys know that right here we do have the results that can all be shown, as well as the course map, and then there's actually the live video that you're watching right here also available right here in a drop-down menu from our Twitch feed. So really cool. If you want the live chat from Twitch, it is also available over here on the right-hand side. So great little plugin that's just been updated to the zwiftpower.com live results that you can watch through. The riders are, it looks like, heading over toward, at this point, are they already heading toward the underground? I believe. And they are being led out by none other than Tom Ove Kalen, coming out of Norway. So let's go ahead and head right in to the action at the front of the A race today. And it looks like I'm heading back over to the start-finish line. All right, so Brett Boniface, it looks like, as usual, we've got the hammer man. This guy coming from ODZ just doesn't quit. Shows up for race after race, getting ready for the real life race, and that's for sure. But we do have another rider, Kim Little here, who tends to like this course a lot, and I think he's going to be the one to watch out for out there today. iCat is in there as well from the HIK team, that newer team out on course that's been showing up at the front of these races a lot of times, coming out of the Netherlands. So good to see them represented as well. S. Hein is here from Team Experimental. It looks like is here as well. Jay Bergenski, Jay Erickson is there, as well as P. Barroso. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of reading real quick here on what the race information is today on the Tuesday Night World. So there's been some questions about what is going on with the ZTR XRS, what's going on with the changes there. It's been the Zwift training race for a really long time, and it's now been rebranded with the XRS ZTR races, the Experimental Racing Series, as Team Experimental has taken over running the series, which is pretty cool, and it's also come along with the launch of the Cyclogent Rankings website as well. So today this is an all-out race from the starting gate to the finish. Be prepared to go all out from the start with 3 laps out on the London Loop. It's going to be very difficult for that all-out pace. As you can see, though, already they've averaged up into that 4+ watts per kilogram at the front. They are starting to hit this box hill, 1% gradient right now, but they're going to drive it into about now 5%, 6%, 7% in just a moment here. As usual, results can be found at zwiftpower.com, and the race rankings from these results will be found at zwiftrankings.com. Full race rules can be found on XRS Facebook page as well. But the rules for today, unlike a KISS race, this race is no power-ups, and there are no TT bikes either. But the usual categories do still stand. A's, as you can see right here, push 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for their FTP. The B's, they're pushing 3.2 to 3.99. The C categories are 2.5 to 3.19 watts per kilogram for their FTP, and the D's are 0 to 2.49. Z Power riders will not be placed in a Cat A results on Zwift Power. And Z-Power riders are not eligible for podium places in Cat B to D on Zwift Power either. Your Strava save must include the ZTR tag in your category, i.e. ZTRC. You may not be placed without this, just so everybody knows. So make sure you are following all the race rules. You can always find those under race information over at zwiftpower.com. Each one of the races are linked on the front page of zwiftpower.com, so no way that you can miss that as long as you know where to go for that. I am seeing a whole lot of people actually suddenly hanging out over at the Twitch channel. Good to see you guys over here. It looks like CS Tricks is saying, my workout this morning was not good. Can't give threshold heart rate severe. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Casey. And Casey's saying Kim Little for the win. And I'm hoping to see that NGX working over here pretty soon, just so you know, Casey. That would be really cool if that could happen. And good to see as well. Roger's over here, and I'm with you as well. We'll get those working as soon as we possibly can. And oh boy, now we're getting conversations. I'm not going to keep on going down with that one. And so BJ, now, hi, Dr. Nathan. Dr. Nathan, what are we talking about here, BJ? Streaming also Kissy U. Yep, doubleheader today, and I'll be joined by Mr. Jonathan Noblet in just a little bit for the Kissy U. But before that, we're going to have some at least one guest today for the rider reveals for the fifth and for the fourth and fifth riders that will be revealed for the CVR, the Cycling Gent Virtual Arena Virtual Racing World Cup, that will be happening on April 8th. So we're super excited to bring the next riders your way and have a little interview with one, maybe two of them. We'll see if we can grab both of them. But for sure, one of them will be jumping in with us today. About halfway up the climb now, you can see that there has been an elite group that has definitely been formed. Tom of Kayla there is hanging on the back with Jay McQuaid, also out of the US of A. Boniface, the strong man here, 5.5, probably one of the favorites along with Kim Little. And Lamonstre is in there as well. So those three, I think, probably amongst the favorites to take the W, but never count out Barroso coming from that PTZ team, as you can see, hammering away and a part of the group still, 168 beats per minute currently. So lead group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8. Can I count? And yeah, that looks to be where things stand, as we do have S. Viberg as well, a little ways off the back, about 12 seconds back with Wallstrom. Hein there as well, and then ICAT from that HIK team. I believe he took second place in the Dutch National Championships. I think it was ICAT, right behind Mr. Jurns Tempelaar, actually. And so definitely a super strong athlete out on course here, trying to chase down that second chase group and getting back in with them so that going over the top of the climb of Box Hill does not cause a huge time gap. And really, that is the main concern. When you were climbing over the top of Box Hill, you do not want to be dropped off as you climb, because as you come over the top, those seconds just go flying out when you're a part of a group. The gaps just completely open up if you are not on those wheels. So as you can see here, ICAT here at 5.4, 5.3 seems to know that and is trying to close down that 5 seconds. 5 seconds, though, is so incredibly huge. Very difficult to close down. He's got to put out over a watt per kilogram more. We do see him kicking it now into that 5.5 to 6 watts per kilogram right before it's about to flatten out here. So he knows this is the moment of truth for him, to whether or not he's going to be with these boys over the top. Down to 3 seconds here. Crazy effort. 183 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and see if the live results will tell us what he maxes out at. And from ICAT here, we are seeing 193. He's got 10 beats to work with, but that is an absolute max. So he is definitely, and already being up toward a threshold effort prior to kicking into this 450 watts or so, he is definitely going to be on the rivet at this point, and it's going to be head down, head cocked a little bit probably, in order to hang on to these wheels now at this point. Dropping it back to 4.8 watts per kilogram, and it's not like when you make a catch in real life. You still have to have some consistency, but he goes right on by, actually starts to take that pole, and it's actually a really great effort that he put in there in order to get back with those boys in that front chase group. But now it looks like another group has formed, as there was an attack over the top as they headed into the KOM. 549, followed by Martinez here as well on the Go-Go Power Rangers. And then we do have Lamonstre, Erickson, and Kim Little Barroso a little ways off the back. Boniface is still in there, though. It does look like it is now a full lead group of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 riders. right? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders, excuse me. Barroso chasing 7 seconds back, as you can see. Kalen now, it looks like a little ways off the front as well. 8 seconds between Barroso and Kalen. Kalen now kicking at 8 watts per kilogram. Kim Little going again now, 7.8, 161 beats per minute or so. Lemonstre is here with him, 162, 163. Boniface trying to go with him, 173, 171 beats per minute. Erickson, 156, looking super strong and comfortable still at this point. Moving up toward the top, we can see that these boys have put out 5.4, 5.1, 5.2, 5.1. All of them over 5 watts per kilogram. Hodges was there as well at 5 watts per kilogram. It looks like Hodges, though maybe fallen off the back and has put out a crazy effort, but unable to hang with the boys here. Now I'm looking, junction after the start is the last place that James Hodges was recorded. I'm not sure that he's made it. No, James is here from the KRT here, making it still over the top of Boxtail, still looking for this last little kick at that, into the teens for the gradient. And he's hanging with, it looks like, Jay Bergenski out of the USA and Kay Zander. ICAT looks to be about 40 seconds up from them, still with the Italian Calabrese and Wallstrom, Viberg, all going over the top here. We do have S. Hine now about to be caught by that group, it looks like. Kayland, McQuaid, 53 seconds up from them. Kayland there, 14 seconds. All kind of spreading out at this point as they make their way down the other side. The only boys that are really all together is this front group of 4 riders that have really established themselves with a crazy effort into that 550s over the top of the climb. Boniface with a 549. We did see as well, it looks like he came over 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the riders. They did attack, it looks like, to stay with them, but it will be Martinez, Erickson, Little, and Lemonstre all under 5:55, which is a crazy fast time over the top. Now, I did get a little information from some of their other riders out and racers out on course that there is a draft effect over the climbs, and so with riders pushing you a little bit and that drafting effect, those faster times definitely are affected by the working together over the climb. It's not obviously as exaggerated as the downhill and the flatter sections of the course, but you do get a little bit of a draft from the climb over the top. Martinez on the Go-Go Power Rangers unable to hang on, it looks like, with that front group. Still throwing down a solid 5.1 watts per kilogram, though, out on the course today. David Chris was saying, anyone else lagging, or is it me? David Chris, I'm not positive. I'll have to take a look real quick and see if there's any issues over at the Facebook right now. I am watching it. It looks fairly clean to me, actually. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys all a big, huge encouragement right now that you can head on over to our Twitch channel and hit the follow button over there and have a whole lot of great interaction and HQ high quality stream, as we are going to make sure if there is any lag going on there, I'm going to stop the Facebook feed just real quickly and put it back out to you guys to make sure that, because I think we over qualityed it actually, so there's going to maybe be a little bit of lag. Sometimes if I send out the 1920 by 60 frames, it ends up being a little too fast. So the Facebook stream will be right back. It's going to pause for just a moment, and then you will have a little lower quality sent out to you, but without any of the lag or anything like that. So have your patience. Make sure to head on over to Zwift Community Live over on Twitch. There will be a link posted in there very shortly as I do change those quality settings. We are seeing about 18 seconds up, though, from Lemonstre here, as he takes a little bit of a flyer off the front here and has a solid 4.5 watts per kilogram to give. As it looks like Kim Little trying to chase that down, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Boniface here a little ways back as well. Real quick, just doing a little bit of quality settings here change, as we want to make sure that the Facebook stream is not getting lagged out for everybody, but that they are encouraged to head on over toward the Twitch. So I'm just gonna, and it looks like, okay, thanks a lot, Johnny. Really appreciate you helping out with the link to the Twitch channel. So it looks like Lemonstre now off the front here. Erickson is there at 5.2, 5.3 watts per kilogram. Looks like the Facebook feed actually got way worse after we did do a change or two there. Things got all kinds of whacked, at least for me. I'm going to go ahead and refresh and see if that gets any better at this point. Or maybe the transcoding completely messed it up, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. I have no idea what happened with that. Maybe we can get a full-on restart, but there is a complete, total mess over at the Facebook stream right now. Maybe Johnny can help me out in the background there, because I have no idea what is happening there. We are seeing Brett Boniface now here with Kim Little. Martinez 20 seconds up, seconds back as well. Ericsson 6.7 watts per kilogram, and it looks like Ericsson with a little bit of attack now as they head into the final couple of meters here before they actually hit the lap. Maybe looking for the orange jersey out on course. 19:52, a sub 20-minute lap is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the Facebook stream altogether because it is coming through like really wacky at this point. If you'd like to see the broadcast, we're just going to stay Twitch exclusive for right now because for some reason Facebook was causing lag as well as all kinds of depixelation. So Facebook not liking us at all today. Again, Facebook is not a dedicated streaming platform. It is a place where we can show off things to you with live streams, but a lot of times when you put out high quality streams like you're seeing over on Twitch, it can be really difficult to keep that quality between a lot of different platforms with high bit rates, high definition, as well as high frames per second. I have a feeling that might have something to do with why Facebook just went wacky. So a little bit of hype though around the fact that we do have the World Cup launch in Vegas coming up. Obviously, we've been talking about it over and over again. We're doing this rider release with each XRS event in conjunction with that World Cup that's coming up on the 8th. So as we lead into the 8th, we're going to have these rider reveals continually happening. We'll have 2 more today, and then we're going to have, I believe it's going to be 2 more on Thursday. And then if we can do a women's event reveal, we will start heading into that as well. We're still waiting for a roster to get filled amongst the women, but as soon as that happens, we will make sure to do something similar to what we've been doing for the men. So as soon as we know that we've got that going on, we will definitely be doing some reveals to highlight women's racing within the CVR World Cup. Le Mans right now, 4.7 watts per kilogram. He does have a 6-second gap. It's not enough to be confident at this point, that's for sure. Even at 20 to 30 seconds, when you've got a group out on course as strong as Ericsson, Boniface, and Kim Little chasing you down, Le Mans is going to have a monstrous effort. But Boniface does not have the likes of a Tim Cartwright with him. He does have Little with him, but Little is a little bit more of a puncher. He's a little puncher. Ericsson as well here, 5.0. I'm not sure that he's going to have the kind of power that's needed like a time trialist Cartwright is in order to pull this back in. So Boniface here, maybe him and Ericsson can pull back Lemonstre, but Lemonstre here, 6.0 watts per kilogram. He's really trying to get some daylight between himself and these 3 chasers. Going off the front, a little bit of a risk here, that's for sure, as if he hits that box hill at the rivet, it can be very difficult to hang on if those riders rested up at all. But being only 3 riders, they're going to have to be at the front a lot in order to match the effort of Mr. Lemonstre out on course today. Lemonstre, now we're looking here. I'm going to head on over to his results, and 40 is the name. He is ZTR approved, just so you guys know. So he has been put through the ringer, as you might say, tried and true maybe, on the estimations of his power that are being given to the game. If you're wondering what the ZTR approval is all about, it's actually a process where there is a board or a group of people who are putting out voluntary effort, completely community voluntary effort. This is not a Zwift official thing. It is more of a Zwift power thing where the riders that are putting over 5.0 watts per kilogram for the duration of 20 minutes within a race or for the duration of a race itself are putting out power numbers that are pushing into a Cat 1 professional, the top 1 to 2% in the world type of people. And so if you do that kind of an effort, you can get relegated in a race. And unless you show and prove through a power meter, a strain gauge power meter, that you can actually do that kind of effort in real life with files that you have from outside rides on a strain gauge power meter that's verified, then you will continue to be relegated because you put out that 5.0 or more, and it would seem that maybe your power source that's communicating to Zwift might be a little miscalibrated. And so Lemonstre here, because he put out over 5.0 watts per kilogram for the duration of a race, went ahead and was relegated, and then put in some files to Zada, and they checked over his files. They matched it up to what they were seeing in game and said it was within a margin of error that was acceptable to say that he is approved on the power source that he is using for Zwift. So as you can see here, Lemonstre here with a crazy estimated FTP of 391 watts actually, and he is a fairly well-known racer amongst some of the riders actually in the UK. I do know that Cartwright and 40 or Lemonstre in game do know each other and do ride against, or at least ride against each other in real life actually. So good to see him hammering out here and taking the risk here to get away about halfway through the race at this point. And it's at that moment of braking, I think, for the chase. They've been getting within about 5 seconds. As you can see, when they came over the climb into Trafalgar Square there and took that left-hand turn, you saw that the chasers were kicking into the orange numbers, and all Lemonstre could do was push into about a 5, maybe 6 watts per kilogram. And now you can even see, after having to put out 5.0 for a while, he has to drop into that 4.0, 4.2, 4.5, and now we see that crazy attack coming from Ericsson, Little, and then Boniface as well to stay on terms there into those orange numbers to grab back on Lemonstre's wheel. And this is probably what he was concerned about. Right before hitting the climb, heading into Box Hill again, being already on the rivet and having to recover, he's trying to bring that heart rate back down in order to not be too over limit when they actually hit that climb. You want to reserve a lot of those resources, because if you have to put out an extra minute or two right up into that threshold, it can be the difference between hanging on and being a minute off the back on what a lot of people like to call box heck, I'm going to say, out on course here. So Martinez here, Barroso. Martinez is about 40 seconds back, it looks like, from the leaders. Barroso, it looks like, from the PTZ team with Calibres and then Hine. They've all formed this solid chase group, it looks like. S. Hine, Wallstrom is in there as well. Viberg, Calibres, ICAT, McQuaid is there as well. And it looks like T. Kaland, Tomo Kaland is in there from that KRT team. KRT well represented, it looks like, in this chase group. And then at the front of the race, though, it is just ODZ with Lemonstre riding unattached, I believe, still. Lemonstre does have 63 races total in the world of Zwift. He's got a second place finish recently in the PRS Project Race Series on the 24th. That would be just about 4 days ago. He got a 6th in the KISS Europe race on the 23rd, the day before. He actually did the back-to-back racing craziness in the XRS ZTR race actually on the 23rd, about 5 days ago, and then took a 6th in that KISS Europe race immediately after. On the 21st, he did get a win, though, in that ZTR race. It looks like he's trying to grab another win. It is 1 week ago to the day. So Lemonstre may be really focusing in on these Tuesday nights. We'll have to see if he can pull off another W. He did do the KISS Europe 100 kilometer race as well on Sunday that week. What an effort there. 4.53 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. He does have about 3 or 4 wins actually in the last 2 weeks here out on Zwift. So at the front of the race, we do have Jay Eriksson. This is a rider that I haven't seen a whole lot as of lately. Coming out of Sweden, estimated FTP of 330 watts. We are seeing that the number of races, it's not too high actually. We are seeing that he just started racing. So this is a racer I thought that I was a little more familiar with, but is a different racer here. Jay Eriksson out of Sweden, 22.3 kilometers in, 137 beats per minute currently. He's got a second place in a WBR 4-lap race on the 27th, just yesterday. And then on the 24th, he took a win in the WBR 4-lap 2 days ago. Or no, I'm sorry, excuse me, 4 days ago. And then in the Tri-Sport Way Hilly race, he took first place over and over again, I'm actually seeing. But he has put out over 5 watts per kilogram for the duration of all those races. So he may get relegation, as I'm not seeing a ZTR approval badge. So that's, as we were talking about recently, we're going to see a lot of that for any of the riders who are putting over 5 watts per kilogram for the duration of their races. So Ericsson hanging in here. We'll have to see if he does hang on to 5.4 watts per kilogram for the duration of his race. He's put out 392 watts so far with a solid 149 here, looking fairly steady, as Boniface is here now as well, coming out of Canada, 5.0, hanging with Mr. Kim Little. And it looks like Boniface, we go through here and we can see he's had some crazy results lately. He changed his Strava profile to some interesting fruit. Anybody can tell me, what are those figs? I think those are unripened figs or undried figs that I'm seeing here. 188 races for the Canadian Brett Boniface, actually, who's hanging right on the wheel of Mr. Kim Little here. Kim Little might be the only racer I know of that might have more races than Boniface. Boniface, we've been talking about, does do those back-to-back races. His last result was yesterday yesterday in the XRS ZTR DCAT race that we were watching. Cartwright won that yesterday with the go from 1 lap to go and gained a solid 18 seconds over the field. Boniface was able to win the sprint at the finish, though, for second place in the XRS ZTR race. So in the XRS Crit then as well on Sunday, he won a sprint between himself and Cartwright, again going to the line. So Boniface has the sprint effort, it seems like, the last couple of days. Okay, we can get back to the chat here. If you guys would like to also interact with the broadcast, since we do not have the social media integration coming in from the Facebook, you can go ahead and tweet as well at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. There is no Zwift at the front of it, but at Z Community Live for social media integration, and we will bring you right on in. If you'd have any questions, make sure to shoot them our way through that. That's the easiest way for me to pick them up and not have to sort through all of the chat over on Twitch. It'll be a lot easier for me to see exactly what you want to ask, especially if it's in relation to the CVR Cup or any of the stats or information I'm bringing your way through the broadcast. That's the easiest way, but I will sort through as much as I can for the Twitch chat as well. I'm seeing Kim Little here saying solo attack off the back, laughing at me and my commentary. Appreciate that so much. Frank Deal the Tank is in here. Zwift needs a BB30 creaking sound. That'd be a very realistic, I think, for most of us that do not have their bikes leaving the house too often. The Jaguar Team TFC, Zach bigging up his in real life race win that he keeps dreaming about. We're hearing from Jaguar over there. Rogers is, as usually, starting the controversy with the what the heck Zwift hacking happening in the chat right now. Ericsson needs to have a word with Zada. Williams is saying, I'm with you there as well, D. Williams. And Jaguar saying, hi, Nathan, I can chat now. Andy Baines, incognito. Good to have Andy Baines in the chat. That's awesome. Thanks for signing up. Thanks for hitting that follow button over on the Zwift Community Live Twitch. And if you would like to get notifications, make sure to check your settings on your Twitch profile. The way to find that, you head on over to the Twitch main page and you click the drop-down menu next to where your name is up at the top, and you can go into your, I believe it's either your dashboard or their settings. I think it's settings, actually. And then there's a notifications section in there, and you can get notifications from anybody or turn off notifications from any channel that you do follow over on Twitch. Le Mans right now, it looks like here 5.0 watts per kilogram at the front of the race. Ericsson still hanging in there as well. Boniface and Kim Little 6.6 real quick, not to go anywhere just yet. We've talked about everybody's results so far besides Mr. Little. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what he's been up to lately out on Zwift. He's putting the smart man amongst the group here at 4.9 watts per kilogram so far. Kim Little maxes out at 183 beats per minute. Lamonstray 180, so both of them do beat a little bit lower than the rest of the riders that we're looking at out on course. Little, of course, riding for Team Experimental, the race organization that does help run the XRS series. We are seeing they are about 15.8 kilometers in at the last checkpoint, but they're about to come over the top here at that 25 kilometer with one more time over Box Hill after this time. We'll see what kind of time they pull over the top. 5:53 is extremely fast. I'm not sure we're going to see something like that again. Erickson is going, and Kim Little sees the move and immediately grabs right onto that wheel, knowing that this might be one of those moments of truth. Monastery does follow it very quickly there at 6.2 watts per kilogram. It does look like Kim Little has second place recently. He's got an estimated FTP of 359. It's Zada approved. He took a second place in that XRS ZTR Thursday night race last week, so just 5 days ago. On the 22nd in the ZHR Masters race, he got a win, and then on the 21st as well in the ZHR Contre La Montre TT, he took a first place as well. The Kiss Down Under race, super late nights for me. I think I followed that one. I might have covered that on the 9th. Took a second place as well. So a second, a win, and a second in the last 4 races he's done out on course. Of course, he also won the GCN race that recently happened about a month and a half ago or so. That was a huge win for Kim Little and Team Experimental recently in front of a huge audience out on Zwift. We are seeing a little bit more information coming through here from the Twitch chat, and Roger says, at Z Community Live, my USA visa is still active, so it sounds like Rogers is on his way over for the Las Vegas event. I'm not sure they're going to set him up a cockpit, but maybe he can protest and get that happening. We are seeing some orange numbers throw down out on course. They had over that pretty intense 13% or so grading, but nobody goes anywhere just yet, as Kim Little, Erickson, Lamontre are all still together. We are seeing Martinez here now, 5.5 watts per kilogram on the Go-Go Power Rangers. Wallstrom is here with still a huge group in tow, it looks like, as T. Kalin from that KRT team, the KISS Racing team. It does look like Wallstrom does race for the Swedish team, SZ. And let's go ahead and start talking about a few of these in the chase group, as we were watching a lot of those top 4 all the way through here, but these boys are all super fast as well. And Kalin, McQuaid, Hine, Viberg, and ICAT are all in and amongst this group. They should be updating momentarily here in just a second with their climb over the top of Box Hill. It looks like right around a 6:30 or so, and that is still, for me, after one climb over Box Hill, a 6:30 is still extremely, extremely impressive, boys and girls, to throw down, and took probably somewhere into that 5 to 5.5 watts per kilogram, maybe even into 6 at times, in order to hang on to that kind of pace. It is exactly right around that 25 kilometers when they do come over the top of this KOM banner for the second time on Box Hill. Wallstrom now kicking in at 6.3 watts per kilogram. Hine trying to follow, but it is Kalin, Tomo Kalin, the 24-hour crazy man, mountain biker coming out of Norway here, putting in that 7 watts per kilogram now and trying to break things apart. Looks like Viberg falling off the back right here. Look, and if he does not hang on to the wheel of ICAT, if ICAT opens that up now as well, and now we see McQuaid going with that orange numbers. Now I'm not sure that ICAT and Viberg can get back on terms, as they're throwing down 68 kilometers per hour now. This is how it's done out on Box Hill. You think it's all happening on the climb, but if it doesn't happen there, you've got the opportunity to open things up on the downhill, because if you're with a group, they will just fly away from any chasers. And now these boys are going to have to put out huge orange numbers to get back on terms with that front group. They're all getting to that Sagan tuck, but they're going away from the chasers, even though they're putting down 4, 5, 6, 7 watts per kilogram even. Still 4 seconds off the back, and it is a very difficult descent. That what should have been an easy sit-in Sagan tuck now becomes an all-out sprint effort down the hill to hang on to the wheels. Kalin now at the front here in that tuck, 65 kilometers per hour. Viberg now 67 kilometers per hour. They'll come right on up to the wheels, it looks like here, but with a big match burn, and that was quite the cheeky move there from Hine, Wallstrom, McQuaid, and Kalin to try and make that attack over Viberg as well as ICAT out of the Netherlands. So we are seeing about 151 back is the gap from Kalen, Viberg, and Hein, Wallstrom, and ICAT to the front runners of Le Mans Stray, Boniface, Kim Little, and Ericsson. They are still together, it looks like, but it is now out to 318. I think that will continue to come down, though. It was 151 at the KOM banner, but I think that will come down from that 3 minutes that we were seeing there. They just need to continue to descend at 70 kilometers per hour to bring that time back a little bit, because it's actual time between them and doesn't take into account the fact that these boys are doing 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, while the others are climbing out of the underground most likely at 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. Szymanski is saying, yeah, our buddy Hugh found that out. He is saying, wait, what are we talking about? The Twitch chat has gone, I don't even know where. C-Tower is saying, don't have to be in Vegas for that to happen, Mike. Looks out the window across the street. You guys got an interesting chat going on over there, that's for sure. I'm going to leave that one alone. So how about you guys, if you have any comments at Z Community Live, make sure you do at Z Community Live in chat, and I'll see it in black. Otherwise, you got a Twitch account, make sure to follow us over on Twitter. We should have links in the Twitch channel below in order to follow us over there, and you can go ahead and at Z Community Live, anything you would like to be brought into the social media, as long as it follows the TOS, I'll make sure to highlight it, and we can have a little bit of interaction through the Twitter and bring you guys right on in and see your super awesome Twitter profile picture as well. Of course, Rogers. I'd like to know what Rogers is. At ZQMive, I would not read the chat. Got it. Okay. Citation violation. There's a violation right now, it sounds like, going on in the chat that we're just going to leave alone altogether. So heading into the final lap here in just a moment, we're going to take a quick little break from the front of the A race, and I think we're going to bring in a rider who is going to be heading on over to Vegas. We'll do our rider reveal now. So make sure, actually, why don't you go ahead and share this up right now. Let's get a whole lot of hype. Let's stack this place up. Throw out a hashtag of esports maybe out there. Johnny, if you want to do maybe, how about this, Johnny? You throw out a tweet, throw out some shares, let everybody know out in the social media worlds that right now we are doing the next two rider reveals. So our 4th and 5th CVR World Cup rider reveals, who is going to be there, along with an interview with one of the riders as we do our last lap out in the XRS. The best thing that you guys can do to support the streaming of the Zwift and the Twitch channel is to share up that tweet that Johnny Noblet is going to do for us through the Zwift Community Live Twitter right now. And as that happens, he'll throw a link into the Twitch channel, and all you guys can easily follow that, retweet it, or do all the different kind of sharing that you can possibly do. And let's get things going here with some hype around this CVR World Cup release of the next two riders. We'll wait just a second for all that to happen. And we are seeing Roger saying Aussie YouTuber gets arrested for celebrating winning esports win. Oh my gosh. So we're talking about Shea Miller here. It sounds like. Szymanski saying, Ed, you might want to ignore us for a bit while we discuss ways we get in trouble in Vegas. Got it. Since the event is in Vegas, all that makes complete sense. Maybe Jonathan Noblet is not actually even in the channel right now and has no idea what I'm talking about, or that I'm even talking to him about sharing this up. We'll have to wait and see if anything does happen with all of this. Looking through here, I am seeing it is going to be Wallstrom then making his way around. We are going to chat a little bit about this and wait and see if I do see anything coming through the social media integrations. I will integrate his tweet right on into the broadcast. There it is. Alrighty, it looks like it's not updating for me though in the vMix social integration. I gotta see what's going on here, boys and girls, because I am not seeing. There it is. Alright, so you can go find this tweet, boys and girls, right now, as we are about to reveal the next two riders. Join us now for the revealing of the next two riders for the @GoZwift CVR World Cup. And as you can see, CVR World Cup also has its own Twitter that you can follow as well. Esports at Z Community Live. And you see how he did that at Z Community Live at the end there? That is how you get that social media integration. Let's see how many retweets we can get going on that. Let's get that thrown out there as much as you possibly can as we wait for these riders to hit Box Hill the next time out on course. We'll go over a little bit more information about the riders in the chase group here, and then we will go ahead and do that rider reveal. We do have 215 is the difference between Johan Wallstrom here. Kalen, McQuaid, Viberg, and Hein, they're all back together with ICAT there as well. So solid chase group it looks like still out on course here. Johan Wallstrom coming from the SZ team here. Solid 61 races total coming from Johan. 352 estimated FTP. It doesn't look like he's taking... Well, he actually took a second place in a WBR in Gamba 3.5 ride. So solid result there. All mainly top 10s at this point. So maybe if he's able to hang on here, this could be one of his best results as of recently, especially within the ZTR boys. Because he did do the Magnum Mondays, it looks like, and took a 5th place back on the 6th of March. This is still going to be a solid result, though, amongst this kind of a field. Taking a 5th place in a ZTR, in an XRS ZTR event is a huge deal, as these tend to be some of the fastest races out on Zwift. Viberg then is in here as well. Not a rider I'm super familiar with, so let's go ahead and see what this rider is all about. Sindre Viberg coming out of Norway, 24 races total, estimated FTP of 340. 312 on March 12th, it looks like he took a 3rd. In the XRS crit, actually, so that's a solid result, actually, coming from Viberg. Back on February 18th in the BRS Ibex race, he took a 3rd place. And so lots of solid results. Been racing all the way since last year in March, but races just every once in a while, it looks like, Mr. Viberg. Not about 2, 3, maybe 4 races a month, it looks like, for Viberg. Tom of Kalen, somebody that I haven't seen racing a whole lot of recently, but definitely someone I'm super familiar with. 172 races, oh my goodness, out on Zwift. Insanity. And SZR Evening Joyride, WBRs, he's been doing a lot. He did do, it looks like, the XRS ZTRs on the 23rd and the 21st. Man, Tom of Kalen for that KRT racing team. My mistake, because this boy's been racing a whole lot out on Zwift and has a lot of wins as of recently. He's won the last 2 races he's done, both of them yesterday, that WBR 4-lap and that SZR Evening Joy Ride. We also do have, it looks like, McQuaid in here as well out of the US of A. And McQuaid here, it looks like, estimated to be a 327, 40 races out of the United States. Took a 2nd in the XRS Ibex race back on Saturday on the 25th. And then the KISS Europe race, he took a 5th on Sunday. So solid results here, all right up into that 4.5 to 5 watts per kilogram. And then we do have Hein in here as well. Mr. S. Hein here from a Team Experimental. He has 108 races out of Switzerland and recently took a win in the WBR, it looks like. So, XRS, though, it looks like a 5th place in the last one that he did. All right, and enough of the waiting around. Here we go with the rider reveal for the arena coming up here. And let's go ahead and throw the right playlist in, and we are going to reveal our next riders for the XRS arena. All right, boys and girls. So we've got our next rider reveals. It is Mr. Scotty Weiss, the winner of the last CVR. CVR Arena. Not the World Cup, but the last CVR arena that was in Roanoke. He was the champion, so he will be returning and representing the U.S. of the A. But then it was also Mr. Justin Pierre-Vicati coming out of Canada, and I'd like to welcome Justin to the broadcast today. We'll go ahead and bring him in here through a call while we're watching the race unfold here at the same time. Justin, welcome to the broadcast, and congratulations on your entry to the CVR World Cup.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem, Justin. Everybody say hi. If you have any questions for Justin, make sure to bring them our way through the social media integration, or I'll be watching the Twitch chat as well. Justin, so, we see you racing out on Zwift a lot. I think I saw somewhere was it like 90 races? How many races have you done on Zwift? I got to bring that up real quick. But I think it was somewhere in that 90 race. You've been racing on Zwift for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, probably do about 2 to 3 per week for most of the winter. So whatever that adds up to, plus some more from last year. So.
Yeah, I think it's actually, it was 59 races. 59 races, I got it actually. And you're riding for Team ODZ, is that right?
Online, yeah.
Online. And then in real life, who are you riding for, Justin?
Racing for Team Ride with Rendall, based out of Ottawa.
Nice. And I saw some pictures actually out on, I think it was your Instagram. Are you actually hanging out down in Tucson at this time right now?
I actually just came back from Tucson, but I was down there for about a month doing some good training. So
nice. And a lot of team members and stuff that you're hanging out with down there, I would assume, or some sort of training camp that you guys are throwing together.
It wasn't too much with the team. It was just a bunch of friends that I know go down there for training every winter, and I know some of the locals there. So every year we always try and meet up, and it's always a good group of guys to ride with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a lot of guys that amongst the pro mountain bikers, that's like the main place to go, right? Like everybody wants to go to Tucson for the winter training for sure. I'm not sure if we still got Justin. We got you still? I think we might have lost Justin there. So I think he was having a little bit of trouble with the internet connection there for a little bit. But we did have a question. Oh, there we go. I got you, Justin, now. Great. Okay, so we did have if you do have any trouble with the call at any time there, Justin, make sure to just refresh your browser, and you should be able to stay in with us. But what are you most excited about, representing your country or going to Vegas, from Rogers over at the Twitch chat?
That's pretty cool to represent Canada for this kind of event. I mean, Zwift is almost like the anti-social aspect of cycling now, where it's go online and race with your friends, but now it's cool to like actually meet up with the people you race with and do it in a live venue and actually get to meet some of these guys. So that's pretty cool.
That seems to be the common theme, actually, coming from everybody, is like going and actually meeting all these people. It seems to be the focus that everybody's really, whether or not things go well in the arena and all that kind of stuff. Like, you race with these guys day in and day out, it seems like, out on Zwift. It's almost like they're training partners of yours at this point. I mean, you're looking for results and all that stuff in game, and there's a little bit, that's kind of like what's pushing you, but at the same time, it's like showing up to your Saturday morning throwdown to get the best workout you possibly can, and now you get to meet all these guys who've been doing these Saturday morning workouts or Tuesday night or whatever it might be.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's as far as in-game results? You got some pretty amazing results. It looks like you've been able to take a win. It looks like in the Ottawa Top Speed race recently. Also on the 20th of February, ODZ Magnum Mondays. A lot of ODZ races. Obviously, it looks like riding for ODZ in game. What's it looking like for you in real life racing though coming up?
Got an interesting schedule this year. I mean, we're switching up a bit. Got some UCI races we're looking to do. Probably. Tour de Saguenay, Tour de Beauce, probably looking over at Speed Week over in BC, and probably looking to do some other racing, Cascade, of course, and just kind of take it one race at a time.
So is that a domestic or is it a continental? It sounds like it's continental then.
We're actually like we're a domestic team, but we're focusing on like athlete development. So we actually do try and get quite a bit of invites to like UCI pro races just to get like some younger guys some experience and get some footing into the bigger races.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. And how long have you been racing for then at that level, Justin?
This will be my 4th season with the team. And we've pretty much been doing these races like every year, more or less.
Very cool. Very cool. And as a 4th season, most likely taking a little bit of a leadership role, I think bringing some of that development in to some of the younger riders, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have too many like younger riders as far as age is concerned, but we do have a lot of older riders kind of like stepping into the sport for first time. Some guys with like a lot of talent, so I'd like to see where that can go.
Yeah, for sure. That can always be a difficult step for sure. So that's really cool to see the support of riders who have the talent and don't always have the trajectory though to get there through the right connections. So a lot of times that is that's one of the most difficult things. I've actually experienced the same thing in my own career. So really cool to see you guys.
Same here. I mean, I didn't get started in racing until I was 20. So first year
without
racing
that junior development, it can be really difficult to find the right people and find the right place to go, right?
When it's your first year racing and they're telling you it's your last year U23, it's kind of a difficult thing to hear because that's what everyone's looking for.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely true. And let's see here. Any questions coming through here? I am seeing a couple of things coming through over at Twitter there. And just so you guys know, we do have our announcements over on Twitter with the full cards and everything. So Justin, as far as like the thing that you're most excited about Vegas, meeting all these guys, is it going to change anything up for you about how you race Zwift though? Being in an arena, you're going to have a whole crowd of people around you and a whole online environment. What do you do you think it's going to be a completely different? I would think it's going to hype things up for you, and you're going to really want to get a result.
Probably going to be a little more exciting than stepping into the pain cave and doing the usual trainer workout. So it's probably going to have a positive effect on my riding. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a completely different. I think it's going to be. I mean, usually we walk into this room and it's got a trainer, a towel, a fan, some sweat, and a computer screen, and maybe a guy yelling at the screen over in some broadcast over there that makes no sense to half the people in the world. But now you're going to have this entire arena of people watching, screaming at you. So it's going to be definitely a whole lot of hype. As far as the race going on in front of us right now, you familiar with any of the boys out here? You race with them a lot? I know that Brett Boniface coming out of Canada as well. Have you ever raced against Brett actually? Since he is out of Canada, on I would think a team that might race with or against you?
I have not raced against him, but I actually almost have. We've crossed paths a few times in a couple races, but otherwise not really. He's kind of stepped out of the racing as I was stepping in, so...
Gotcha. I see. And I think you guys are on opposite sides of the country, if I'm not incorrect.
Yes.
Is that right?
That would be the main reason.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, it's a pretty large expanse there to cover, I would think, for the racing. So I would think that there's definitely an East Coast racing and a West Coast racing, similar to what we have here in the USA.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, as far as predictions go, that's always going to be like the last question everybody's thinking about. Scotty had a pretty good result, obviously, over in Roanoke up against some pretty strong riders, Jimmy Rye Bishop, and we had Wadsworth in the house as well, a couple of professional mountain bikers, but a lot of roadies showing up, it looks like, to this. Well, there's a couple of mountain bikers as well. We haven't released yet, but we definitely have a lot of talent showing up. Out of who we've released so far, I'm not sure if you even know who else is coming, but we do have a Quentin LaFay so far that we've released. We've got Shane Miller. We've got Daniel Schmidt-Heine, yourself, and Scotty. Anything that you would think between the riders that have released so far? Who do you think's who's got? I mean, I think you got some pretty good chances looking at what your real life results have been and having all things being made completely equal. No differences in the power, that's going to be thrown down. Whatever kind of trainer's going to be on, that's going to be a really cool aspect. I would think you're going to enjoy that. Being a professional rider, that's like, hey, what's up with these crazy numbers we're seeing out on Zwift? Maybe sometimes, right? I mean, it's probably going on in your head once in a while, right, Justin?
Thanks for good training.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way I take it as well. And so, but I think it's going to be a hard race. What do you think is going to happen in Vegas?
I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the course. It depends on who else is coming.
Yeah, I think we lost Justin for just a second there. We'll see if his internet comes back to us. But I think he was saying it does depend a lot on the course. Justin, we'll keep your audio in for us, just so you know. So it will not swap off as we switch scenes, and you can bring your thoughts right back in. But I think you're... oh, there we go. I think we're getting you back. There we go, Justin. Go ahead. You were saying? We lost his audio there again, so we'll have to wait and see if we can get his audio to come back in.
Yeah, so it really depends on who else is coming, what course gets picked. I mean, I don't know if it's going to favor the climbers or the... Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, the climbers or the flats, and I think having Scotty in there is definitely something that you guys are going to be thinking about for what kind of course it is. Being somebody who is holding down, was a world record holder for Everesting. So definitely somebody to watch out for, I would think, for if it is a climbing course.
Oh, for sure. He's definitely a guy to look out for. But I'm pretty confident in my climbing abilities at this point. So going head-to-head with him, I don't really mind.
There you go. I like to hear it. There we go. I like to hear that. That's what I think that's what the fans are looking for too, man. So how are things going to work out? I don't know. I'm going to go head to head with Mr. Scotty Weiss. That's what's going to happen. So we got a prediction right there from Pierre Ficati going head to head. Maybe I know I'm reading into that a little bit, but I got to throw a little hype around the reality of you two going at it head to head at the live Las Vegas arena. Justin Pierre Ficati, one of our releases here, going to be representing Canada at the new released CVR World Cup. We're super excited, and I can't wait to see you next week. We're going to be having, I think, a little group ride actually on Friday. If you are going to be in town by Friday, there is something being planned. So, all right, sounds good. We'll get out for a ride, and can't wait to see you there over in Las Vegas. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day, and I know a little out of your training day as well. So I appreciate you jumping in with us and having a chat about the race coming up.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Justin. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
All right. That was Mr. Justin Pierre Ficati. It was great to have him in here, and that he is one of the releases here for the CVR World Cup coming up representing Canada. It is, of course, Scotty Weiss, the winner of the race in Roanoke. So we'll maybe be able to bring Scotty in later today. We'll see if we can have him in for a little bit of an interview, have a chat about the upcoming race as well as the race that we had in Roanoke. We did just see Mr. Kim Little come across the line here, hammering away. It looks like Le Monstre did have a gap at one point, but was unable to hold on to it. And it looks like Kim Little actually ended up taking the W, I think, in the end today in the race. And so let's go ahead and see real quick here. I'm going to just check the live results, though, and see if I'm right about that. But it does look like, yep, Kim Little just barely out sprinting Brett Boniface right at the line. Does look like Mr. 40 Le Monstre 10 seconds back, followed by Jonas Eriksson. Isn't always the man who works the hardest, though, who wins the race, as Jonas Eriksson, 5.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. 40 here, 5.1. Then we do have Brett Boniface at 4.9 watts per kilogram. And actually the man who worked the least, Kim Little, as it usually is, takes the win, though, with the biggest punch at the end of the day. So if you'd like to make any comments or anything like that over at the Twitch channel, we are watching closely to see what's happening with your guys' predictions about what's going to happen so far from what you see amongst the riders for the CVR World Cup. I'd love to hear what you guys think about who is going to pull off the win out of the riders that we've seen so far. And we are seeing, it looks like a whole lot of hype here at Kim Little for well done at Kim Little, killer sprint. Kim Little, nice one, chap. I looked away and missed it. Of course, as Mansky says. So it looks like there was a whole lot of hype about the fact that Kim Little went ahead and took the win today in the XRS race. So nice job to Kim. And solid effort. But yeah, it looks like we do have another sprint that just happened out on course here. Viberg, I think, was able to take the W here amongst these other racers. It was Viberg, McQuaid, Hine, Wallstrom bringing it into the finish. We'll wait for ZipPower.com to update. I think Kalen did get dropped off from that lead pack. We're going to keep on moving back here and see if we can find the front of the B race, as I think Spears was just a little ways off the back from those boys. 3.9 watts per kilogram or so for C. Spears for the duration of his race so long. It looks like Stefan Hine for Team Experimental comes in 9th place, but it was, as we were saying, McQuaid actually. McQuaid did take the W amongst the chase group, followed by Tom Kalen and then Sindre Viberg. Stefan Hine then for 9th place. Johan Wallstrom out in his lonesome. See if he can hold down for that 10th place overall out on course here. It does look like he was able to do so. And it looks like at Kim Little will win CVR World Cup. I don't even know if he is going. Oh my gosh. So, well, he did win today right here. So... We're just going to throw random people out there for the win in the CVR World Cup. Random people who just raced Swift. Rogers is going to win according to everybody else who's in the chat right now. I think I did just see iCat here about to cross the line. Solid race for iCat, 45.4 kilometers in. He's got WBR in his name all of a sudden. Is he actually switching things up? And looking through here... I wasn't actually seeing him in the results here for a moment ago, but in the A race, it does look like he is going to be pulling off 11th place overall. Nice job to Mr. iCat. And Szymanski says whoever the UK person is going to win. And we are seeing, oh, now I'm sending messages too quickly, and he's getting, well, it's in slow mode. We should turn slow mode off, I think. We don't need slow mode on the Zwift Community Live. We don't have enough people in chat in order to have slow mode turned on. People should be able to just go crazy. Few strong UK candidates, that's for sure, Jaguar. That's for sure. So iCat across the line, 11th place overall. Nice job to him. Looking through here, we're waiting for a couple of the B category riders who did start just a little ways after the A's. And we'll see where those boys are at. We do have Bergenski here coming out of the USA, about to cross the line in the A category. He will be holding down a solid 12th place. Since we are here and the C's and the B's will have already crossed the line as they did 2 laps, we're going to go ahead and head on over to their results. And then we'll go over their results, and we'll wait up for the B's to get across the line here. As soon as the B's do come across the line, or as they're making their way to the line, we will make sure to cover their finish. We're still waiting for quite a few of them, but we do have a lot of racers warming up right now for the KISS Europe race that we are about to cover. So make sure to stick around for that. We are definitely covering that race, so do not go anywhere. And we will be here on the Zwift Community Live Twitch, as well as on Zwift's Facebook for that race. And I will be joined by Mr. Jonathan Noblet for that. So make sure not to go anywhere as we set up for the coverage of that race. We will also do a little bit of hype about the CVR World Cup releases there as well. Camilo was saying, I thought Seamus Lavelle was going to be the Canadian rider. Oh my goodness. I don't know, man. That would be kind of crazy. I think, although I don't think there's any power-ups allowed at the, as of the last race. If they did allow power-ups, I mean, there could be some serious things happening on stage, I think. Full-on fist throwing kind of, I don't know, YouTube power-ups for cats kind of things happening. So looking at the results now, let's go ahead and go through the results as I'm out of the event module. So we're going to go ahead and just take a look at the results as they stand right now from the live tab in the XRS race. Does look like in the KISS race, we got ABs doing 2 laps of the London Loop and 1 lap of the London Loop in the C's and the D's. So we'll definitely have a fast and furious race in the KISS race coming up here in just a moment. But in the C and the D category races, oh my goodness. Check this out. So you guys are going to find this interesting, I think. So looking through here, we can see that here is your C category results. Interesting. So congratulations to the top 22 racers today in the XRS ZTR race for the C category. Just follow my cursor right along here. And it looks like Kenneth Holm with a solid result. 50.51 for the win, followed by Patrick Harvey and then Pim van Oostwoord out of the Netherlands. In the top 5, Paul Stokes, followed by Tom and Hagen. It looks like BRT with the 2nd place, Albarosa for 4th, BRT for 5th. Heart rate is out on course, it looks like. I think everybody's got a heart rate on course, but this guy's is extra special from MTCT. In the D category race, I'm not seeing anybody just yet, which is interesting. Because I'm seeing C and D in the results here. Maybe there were no D category. I know some D categories did cross the line. We're waiting for the live results. I think that's what it is. So we'll head on over to the live tab. And in the live results, we do have a couple of upgrades with Gary and Jason. But good job to them for their result. But it will be Shirlea as well as Remco here for 1st and 2nd in the D category, followed by Andrew Kavanagh. Nice job to them. All right, then we do have, it looks like in the XRS, Kim Little with the W, followed by Brett Bonavist, then 40, Jonas Eriksson and Martin Martinez. In the B category, we do have a couple upgrades going to Chaparro Bogdan and Scott Harley. Congratulations on your upgrades to the A category. Steve XC, it looks like, is the first one across the line at 3.9 watts per kilogram. Elf Eric Hagenbakken for 2nd place, followed by Jeremy Wilson for 3rd. Great job to everybody out there today in the XRS race. Again, we had our rider reveal today with Mr. Scotty. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. We're doing, I'm looking for the image and not the video itself. We'll go ahead and just go right to the video. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in for the XRS today. And we'll go one more time through the rider release video. And then we will be right back in about 10 minutes with the KISS EU race over on Zwift's Facebook page as well as live here on Twitch. Congratulations again, as well as always, to all the riders. Congratulations to the new rider releases. And as always, everybody, ride on.